Hi, my name is Michael Shepard, and I'm an assistant professor in the linguistics department. I participated in the eScholars program in the fall of 2016, and I taught the online course that I will be demonstrating here in the spring of 2017. Now, first of all, I don't always dress this way, and I certainly didn't dress this way in recording my lecture videos. But it's convocation day on campus here, and so of course I'm dressed nicely for our students. Now, I've been asked to give an overview of the course, and so what I would like to do is take you through Module 11, which I think is as good as any to represent how the course is put together. So I'm going to start in the modules folder already. So this is the Module 11 folder, and every module begins with only this much showing, and the items are gradually released as the student goes through them. Now, I did this using adaptive release in Blackboard. It can also be done using a setting called force sequential learning or something like that. And my problem with that, my reason for not using that setting, is that it requires students, if they leave a module and come back to it, they have to go back through the chain of items again. Where with adaptive release, once an item is done or marked as reviewed or whatever the requirement is, it will remain done. And students will just be able to access the next item directly. So as you can see on this page, every module starts with a table of contents. And this lists every item in sequence that the student will have to do to complete the module. These are weekly modules. So this module begins with a lecture. The duration is indicated, 6 minutes and 48 seconds, followed by a quiz. There are quizzes that go with every lecture and every film. And there are two reasons for this. One is to ensure that students actually watch these things. And the other is to point their attention to what I believe are the most important points. So these are generally 2-question quizzes. Some of the longer films, like this film called The Linguists, have 3-question quizzes. The questions are multiple choice. I won't actually be showing the quizzes here in case students watch this video. So there's a lecture, there's a quiz on the lecture. There's a film, there's a quiz on the film, then there's discussion of the film that kind of brings everything together. And then there's the second part of the module. So there's another lecture. This one is 4 minutes and 6 seconds. All of the lectures are short, generally under 10 minutes, which is based on research, the ideal length for student attention, actually around 9 minutes. And students have commented on that they've really appreciated the brevity of the videos, the fact that they're broken down, even if that means having several lecture videos in a module. So following the second lecture video, there is, of course, another quiz, and then there's a cluster of films, and these actually juxtapose a couple of competing ideas. The idea that we want English as our language, and then the idea, what does that mean to force a language on people? What can that mean? Then there's a quiz that covers the entire set of films, and then there's a discussion that covers that whole juxtaposition of ideas, and that brings students to the end of the module. So now once students have looked at the table of contents, they can mark it as reviewed, and then we see more of how the course is set up to work. I really don't like scrolling, and so you see that the new item appeared not below, as would be the default, but above. It's pretty trivial to reorder those in Blackboard, and so I did. And here is what the lecture videos look like.
Hello, and welcome to Module 11 on Sociology of Language.
Now these are meticulously
The lecture for this module is in 2 parts. The first part covers language shift and language laws, and the second part covers...
You see that I very carefully broke the subtitles so they fit, so they don't overlap the inset video. I also made sure that the PowerPoints don't interfere with the inset video. That took a little work, but it wasn't bad. And having my face there is meant to promote the idea of human connection. So once students have viewed the lecture, then they can take that quiz. I'm going to skip over this in the video. So now that I've done the quiz, which I chose not to show, now the film has become available. Now these are hosted on the streaming server. And so there we are. There's the streaming server, and there it goes. So there's the film on the streaming server. Once the students have viewed the film, then there's a quiz for the film. So again, I will skip over this portion. And now that I've done the quiz, the discussion has appeared. Now I've set up all of the discussions to be, as you can see when I click in here, all of the discussions are post-first discussions. I don't want the students to read anyone else's thoughts until they have posted their own thoughts. I really value that independent initial thought. And so they're asked to think about the pros and cons of the work that the linguists are doing, and maybe I'm going to say they're awesome. So once I've posted that, then I can see the full contents of the forum and I can respond to my classmates, and this is where we build more of a sense of connection and community. Now, unfortunately, Blackboard kicks you out of the module folder when you go to a discussion. These discussions within the module are actually links to the forum, and so they take you out of the modules folder. You have to make your way back in. But now that I've made my way back in, I see that the film has become available. And you can see the convenience, right, of having things pop up on top, so I don't have to keep scrolling down. I cannot stand scrolling down. So this film is just like the other lecture video and all of my lecture videos.
Oh, hi, and welcome to part 2 of the Module 11 lecture.
Pause, thank you. We'll mark that as reviewed. Then we go to the quiz. And again, I won't show the quiz. And by the way, I made the lecture videos and this film all in Camtasia, which is not difficult to use once you get used to it. So now here come those films, right? And again, I indicate the duration of each film in the titles. I want students to know what they're getting themselves into. These are again hosted on the streaming server. And once we have gone through each one, then we get the quiz, the last of the quizzes for this module. And again, I won't show this. And now that I've done the quiz, the last discussion has been made available. And that brings me to the end of this module. And then the modules themselves are chained together with adaptive release so that you have to complete Module 11 before Module 12 becomes available. There's also a time component, so if it's not time for Module 12, then you get a message saying you're here early and informing you when the module will become available. And that covers the most important elements and a lot of the things that I'm most proud of in this fully online course. And so I hope you've learned something from it. Thank you.